Hey everyone, I'm Scott with HEB. We want to continue to encourage you to use the hashtag Texans Helping Texans to share your recipes, what you do in your communities, how you're helping out. We'd love to share that and how you're helping other Texans. Right now I'm going to help you out with a really simple recipe. We're going to call this our crunchy cereal coated French toast. It's really simple. We're going to start with our organic frosted flakes. Now, it's whatever cereal you love, whatever sugared cereal you like. We're going to encourage you to use a sugared cereal because we want to have extra sugar that's going to help crust up the bottom. We can actually go to pan fry our French toast. So the beginnings of any good French toast is obviously the bread. We're going to use our breakfast bread. This is the French toast breakfast bread. It's got a lot of good flavors here. It's got a little cinnamon in it. It's obviously got little pockets of that custard flavor. So before I actually will make this, I'll let this bread sit on the countertop for an hour, 2 hours, or even overnight. Just kind of let it sit out so it gets a little bit stale. You want a little bit of that moisture to go away, so that way when we're actually soaking it in the custard, it'll soak it up and actually fry it better. So the custard, I'm going to start with half and half. You can use milk, you can use whole milk, you can use oat milk, you can use silk, you can use whatever you want. I like a little half and half because I like the flavor of the extra added addition of the cream in there. So I'm gonna sweeten our custard with a little maple syrup. So the custard is basically the flavor of the French toast. Obviously the French toast that we're using is a French toast that has some French toast flavoring. I've got nutmeg and cinnamon I'm going to add. If you want to use other dry things, cardamom is great. There's a bunch of different ways you can kind of do it. I'm just going to give it a quick whisk here. And now for the coating. So now I could just do this and have it be completely fine between you and I. I could soak this, I could fry it, and it'd be a very happy French toast experience. But we're going to add the texture and the flavor of our crunchy cereal. So I'm just going to get in here with my hands. If you want this finely ground, you can use a food processor and go ahead and process it and make it really, 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 really fine, like breadcrumbs or panko breadcrumbs. But I think the whole appeal to doing this is you have some of those bigger flakes in there so you can actually see what it was. I think it's fun for the kids too. I'm going to crunch this up. It looks just about good enough. And then I'm going to start the dipping process here. So you don't want them to soak too long. You just want a nice soak on both sides. You don't really have to go crazy coating this on here. Just enough to give it some texture on the outside. Again, you have the eggs and cream, and that's going to give you it's going to give you a crust even if we didn't have this. So it's just the added addition of the texture. And hopefully you're using our kitchen and table nonstick titanium pan, which is awesome if you don't have it. I'm going to move over here. I'm going to show you how to fry this up. I got it about medium-low heat right now. I'm going to add a little bit of butter. Kind of make sure you've got a little coating of fat on the bottom of the pan. You could also use a flavored oil, like a neutral oil. Veg oil would work just fine. As soon as it's ready to go, I'm going to take our French toast. I'm just going to place it in there. At this point, I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. Because I'm using all butter, I don't want to go too hot because I want to make sure that the French toast cooks without completely burning the butter. So I think a nice medium-low heat's perfect for this. Just let it sit. And what we want to do as soon as we start to see, and you can just pick it up to see if you don't know, there's no real tell. Pancakes, you always see the bubbles on top, you know when they're time to flip. For these, just keep peeking. You should get that nice golden color on the cereal, and then the egg kind of mixing will kind of help just form this beautiful crust to it. It's really simple. I'm saying about probably 3 to 4 minutes on each side until it's just nicely caramelized. Flip them over and you're ready to serve. It's just that easy. All right, we're gonna flip these in a few minutes. We're ready to go. All right, so all this needs now is a little bit of maple syrup and you're good to go. We're gonna add a little bit of my favorite, a little powdered sugar over the top, just because this is how we amp up a weekend and separate it from a weekday, just like this. Hopefully this was fun and easy to do for you guys. Please make sure you share the recipe, share it with your friend, or grab one of our to-go containers and share it with your neighbors for a nice Saturday morning treat. And that's it. Thanks for watching and sharing this time with us. Don't forget to use the hashtag Texans Helping Texans and share your ideas and recipes with us.